Learn your language's life story. Get to know your language's past. Understand their hero's journey. Zdravo. Understand your language's hero journey. Understand its past. So I'm up here on the hill today, next to this wonderful Orthodox church in Republika Srpska, East Sarajevo. And this is the perfect place for me to discuss principle number 6. It's either number 6 or 7, I forget which one. Learning your language's origin story. So let's walk and talk a little bit, and I'll show you around this little area here. You can see the mountains here in the background. But the reason the church is the perfect place to discuss this is because the language I'm focused on at the moment, and I've been studying and just taking an interest in the language and culture for the last 3 months, is Serbian, Serbo-Croat, Srpski-Croatski, which is spoken in Serbia, Bosnia, Croatia and Montenegro. And from what I understand, Slovenian and North Macedonian have some similarities as well, because they're from the same root. And what was that root? What is the hero's journey that Serbo-Croat has been on? In this particular case, the language originally, let's go back right to the origins. Go back to the origins of the script. So the script itself, you'll notice when you come to this part of Europe, they have a different writing form. It's not Latin. It's not the letters, that we use, the L's, the J. It's completely different. You have all these funny-looking symbols, and it looks very similar to Greek. And that's because the language itself originates in the 9th century with the script does anyway, with a basically with a religious mission. It was Saint Cyril. It was an important figure in Orthodoxy, a scribe and so on, cleric. I don't know if he was a monk or not, but he was sent on a mission through the Byzantine Empire to come to spread Christianity in the Slavic region of the empire. And he devised a writing system based on Greek, incorporating other letters in order to represent the sounds in the languages in this part of the world. And that became known as Cyrillic. It was actually his students that formalized it into a full writing system. His the language he wrote in was called Old Church Slavonic. But his students took his work and developed it into the writing system, which still exists to this day over 1,000 years later. So that's where Cyrillic comes from. And the language, the Serbo-Croatian language, as a formalized language structure, it was formalized in the 19th century. I forget which, it was some conference, it was some great meeting of Serbian and Croatian linguists, and they formalized the structure of the language as it exists today. So functionally, Serbian, Croatian, Montenegrin and Bosnian, although they have some variations, and they actually call themselves different languages now, particularly in Bosnia and Montenegro, functionally the speakers can all understand each other 100%. So this is the origin story here. Saint Cyril. And so why is this important? So this is just one example. I could go into the example of, I don't know, Spanish, for example, is very close to Latin, obviously, from Imperial Rome, with, I don't know, presumably some variants from the early Iberian people. And there's also a large Arabic influence as well in Spanish. So from the Umayyad dynasty, who conquered Spain initially from North Africa, and the Moors, who essentially, ran Spain on and off for 800 years. So that's Spanish, French, the Franks, the Gauls, and Latin. That's where the language comes from. So every language has its own origin story, has its own history. This is something we need to respect as learners. This is something we need to find out a little bit about as learners. A couple of hours of research, that's all it needs. Not even a couple of hours, half an hour, just to start to get a feel for things. So yeah, learn your language's origin story. So with that, my beautiful language lovers, I'll leave you, and I'm going to go and walk around the church a little bit here and just enjoy a little bit of peacetime. Joseski, your language Lothario, on a quiet spiritual retreat up here in the mountains of Bosnia.